Well, thank you, Daniel. And well, I think my success today is that I have forgotten my sunglasses in my hotel. Although I'm Greek, but anyhow. So thank you for, it's great to be here, and thank you GSMA for inviting me to the summer reception and giving me the opportunity to update on BEREC's current activities. Well, following the elimination of COVID-19 restrictions, we had the chance to have physical meetings again, but it's always great to have meetings with industry peers and the chance to discuss recent developments in the digital sector. So let me first give you an update on BEREC plenary meeting number 2 of 2022 that took place last week in Cyprus. And there we have approved a number of documents for consultation and for publication, covering many different interesting topics, including open internet guidelines, roaming guidelines, internet ecosystem, satellite connectivity in the context of universal service, equivalence of access and choice for disabled end users, sustainability, migration from very high capacity networks and copper switch off, and WAC parameters. But following a proposal of our Open Internet Working Group, last week we approved a new ad hoc project for this year, and as you can imagine, it's the assessment of the IP interconnection ecosystem and the impact of a potential OTT fair share on the ecosystem itself and the end users. BEREC has done the same exercise in the past. In 2012, for the first time, maybe some of us or most of us don't want to remember that one, but anyhow. Second time, 2017, and then the IP interconnection report came to the conclusion that in this IP interconnection ecosystem there are no competition issues. It is quite competitive, the market is quite competitive, so everything is fine. Given the analysis to date, telecom operators' proposal on fair share would represent a significant change in the internet ecosystem and its mechanisms, and therefore it would be helpful to examine whether, and if so, what extent BEREC's findings of 2017 still hold. What we want to do in this new project we started recently, we will analyze whether the proposal for a fair share contribution is justified or not, considering market developments, but also investments by different stakeholders in the market the last years. BEREC will also analyze the potential impact of the fair share, as I said, on the end users side, because this is also very important. In the context of this project, we will analyze some first experiences and observations, findings from the South Korea case, where the legislator introduced a mandatory sending party network pay framework. So it's going to be very interesting for the rest of this year. We expect to publish opinion papers in Q3 and Q4 of 22, but also we will have a report ready for consultation next year and approve our final report towards the end of next year. Now, let me give you an update on our work program 2023 preparation process. Maybe some of you or all of you remember, most of you remember that we launched a call for input in April, and indeed we received many interesting proposals for our work program next year. Actually, I would like to thank GSMA for their input, not only with regards to proposals for new projects, but also with regards to comments on how BEREC approaches current work. This is always very useful. So every year we have obligatory projects to be included in the work program. These come from the legislation framework. We have carryover projects coming from previous years, so next year we will have the carryovers of 2022, and we have also new projects. And I think this is the most interesting part of the development in the preparation of the work program. At this stage, this is work in progress, so everything is under discussion. many ideas to be considered. So what I discuss here today are some interesting points, but I don't know if these will be finally included in the work program that will be published for consultation in October. Maybe you will see something different, something completely different, I don't know. So, first of all, BEREC formally participates in the high-level group for DMA. So this means that we will keep monitoring and analyzing developments in digital markets and the impact and effects of the practices implemented by the gatekeepers. In addition, and taking into account the results of our Internet Ecosystem report, approved in plenary meeting last week, with regards to the developments in the digital sector, and we consider that BEREC needs to be engaged in analyzing implications for telecom regulation of the GAFAM's entry in the network and services markets, including the content delivery networks. Cybersecurity and sustainability are always interesting topics for BEREC, and most probably we will have work items for 2023 on these two. We also see a need for BEREC to study the trends and policy regulatory challenges stemming from telecommunications, cloudification, virtualization, softwareization, and all these are becoming more relevant and impact both services that can be offered, but also the design of the network, the implementation of the network. Fiber companies and tower companies as wholesale models are indeed very interesting, and we think that it would make sense to examine competition dynamics stemming from these two models, business models. So we might have a work item next year on fiber companies and tower companies. Well, coming to more mobile topics, we have identified for sure that it would make sense that we do further work about best practices and challenges with regards to 2G and 3G phase out, and this is of course within our MNO's plans. And in addition, the growth of machine-to-machine services and the need to offer these on a permanent roaming in some cases has led us to consider having a report about these topics as well. Now, following our work on copper switch-off, we consider having a workshop on copper switch-off issues next year and another workshop on regulatory perspectives for IoTs in light of the potential competition concerns in the rapidly growing markets for IoT-related products and services in Europe. Well, last but not least, I would mention the Data Act. We will need to continue working on the proposed provisions of the draft Data Act, taking, of course, the time frame into account. So these are some of the topics we consider for work program next year, for work program 2023. As I said, this is work in progress. We don't know yet. We are still in discussions, but this can give an idea where we are heading with respect to work program 2023. The process is that in October we will launch a second round of consultation, which is going to be the final one. So we expect input from all our stakeholders. We are really looking forward to it, and then finalize work program in December 2023. So this is an update on what we are doing at BEREC. And thank you so much again for having me here. Thank you.